My first concert in my entire life with Billy Joel was 1984. June 1984 was here. I was 12 years old, and today I'm actually taking my nephew with me, who's also 12 years old, and it's his first concert.
Came from Cincinnati to see him tonight.
He's definitely the soundtrack to my life. I know that sounds corny, but it's definitely true.
It's the Garden, for crying out loud. It's New York, it's the Garden. Everything is special here.
We just met someone who came in from Puerto Rico just to see Billy Joel tonight for the first time in New York City.
I like to make it to every month if I can.
The first concert we ever did at Madison Square Garden, I think, was 1978, after the Stranger album came out. And we were starting to play the big rooms. You know, it's one thing to play at big arenas, another thing entirely to play Madison Square Garden. It's the most well-known venue of its kind. It meant you arrived. You hit the big time.
This is Billy Joel's home, for lack of a better word. Madison Square Garden is a place that we've played for many, many years, and we're very comfortable here. The audiences here, embrace us very warmly, and it becomes sort of like a house gig for us.
Good evening, New York City. Welcome to the Garden. We're the house band.
We've never done anything like this. I don't think Madison Square Garden's ever done anything like this, where we get to come and be a house band basically for a year or so, or until you guys get tired of us, I don't know, or until Billy gets tired.
The Garden is about energy. It's pure energy. And it's about home. This is Billy's home. This is our home. Most of us came from New York. And for Billy, there's that sense of, everyone here is a family.
It very much is like a family. We're all kind of been doing this for a long time. I'm here 21 years now, since 1993.
I'm in the band 32 years.
This is my 34th year.
I've been here for 40 years.
I don't know, 40, since like 71, whatever that comes out to.
We've all been playing together now for a really long time. I mean, Andy just walked in. He's been in the band, what, 15 years now or something?
15 years.
Andy's been in the band 15 years. The past 15 years, I've spent more time with Andy than I have with my family.
These are people you want to hang out with. They're family members that you have fun with. They're people that you can share secrets with, that you have a common secret that even our own personal families don't know. You want half a sandwich?
It's a diet sandwich.
Want a half a turkey sandwich? Take that bit.
This one?
Yeah, take it, whatever you want. There's a great scene I remember. We were at a Holiday Inn in Birmingham, Alabama, I think it was. And it was one of those Holiday Inns that, had all the outside rooms that were facing the railroad tracks. And the circus was in. There was a Ringling Brothers train, and we're sitting on the balcony, and Billy grabbed Howie Emerson's guitar. And they got into this reggae, and he started singing this song in reggae. And it was, "Come out, Virginia, don't let me wait, check it." So he wrote the song, and he probably has said that a couple times. He wrote it as a reggae song. And then they came in to the studio, and Liberty did the Jimi Hendrix introduction on the shuffle, and it became a shuffle. But we get to eat together, play together, tell jokes together, and then at the end of the day, have 18,000 people scream for what we do.
Quite honest, now the Garden is becoming part of our family as well.
Billy's the godfather,
The patriarch of the family. He's the head of the family. He's like Don Corleone to us.
When we are playing this year, which is kind of a new way of doing it, it's a residency, We're trying to change up the shows. I don't want to just play the same show on automatic pilot every night. I want to change it up.
He's bringing in different elements, and then we're playing different songs every night. We'll never play the same set ever twice.
We're really trying to do something special all the time.
I think I hit me. Yeah.
Me. That's real exciting. That'll get him up.
He's always looking to entertain himself and bring something more to the party for the audience. It's like, they've seen me do that a million times. I've heard me do it a million times. So, you know, what about a string quartet?
We have 5 songs that I've arranged, but we probably won't do all 5 of them, but Billy can choose whichever 2 or 3 he'd like to do tonight. And we do a sound check, and we run through all the basic things that we would normally do, but we'll give a little extra attention to the strings since it's not something that's a typical part of the show.
She's got a light around her, and everywhere she goes, a million dreams of love surround her everywhere.
We keep wanting to, you know, challenge us and challenge the audience a little bit too, but still do stuff people want to hear. So it's kind of a balance.
There are 10 or 12 or 15 songs, depending on any given night, that we know we're always going to play. I can't imagine not doing Piano Man. I can't imagine not doing Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. I can't imagine not doing Still Rock and Roll to Me, Only the Good Die Young, those kind of songs, because it's part of the whole Billy Joel experience to go see it.
What's the matter with the car on the drive? Can't you tell that it's out of style?
A lot of them are hits, but we're also mixing in some obscure numbers and trying to do something a little bit unique and special just for these MSG shows.
This is called Summer Highland Falls.
We throw out a couple of random songs that are obscure album tracks. You're not sure how the audience is going to respond. Sometimes it's like they came across a treasure. And wow, that was really good. Didn't expect that.
You say that these are not the best of times, but they're the only times I've ever known. And I believe there is a time for meditation in cathedrals of our own.
There's always a couple of wild cards in the show, though. There are times where he'll look at something and go, I don't want to do that one, I want to do this one instead.
It's a moving, breathing animal, and that's what makes it a great show. That's what makes it rock and roll.
I always want people to open their minds and just get into some of these beat cuts, because they're really great songs. They're great songs.
Though we choose between reality and madness, it's either sadness or euphoria.
Some nights you don't know what's going to happen. You never know. You never know what you're going to get.
What we're trying to do is to create a singular event every time we're here, that it's a show that you're seeing that is only a show specifically for that audience. He wants to do Downeaster, but he did Downeaster last time.
He did.
Let's try Miami. Pressure.
Would that be a place to put Billy?
Billy the Kid. Good call. We'll do that early. Then we introduce the string players. No, we need a hit before we do that. There's also a lot of care that I try and put into it to try and make sure that the pacing works, because Billy's on stage, he gets the feel from the audience from the very close and from the very far away. Where we are, where Brian and I, Billy's live sound producer, and I are in the middle of the house. So we get a very good sense of what's working, what the audience response is, when we're capturing attention, when we need to pick up the pace and whatnot. And we input all of that data into how we lay out the set list. It has to be theatrical, it's got to be unique for the show, and it's got to have a certain pace, and all the songs have to be represented. No, Fire, Uptown Girl, Big Shot, Still rock and roll, Only the Good Die Young.
There you are.
Okay.
How many is that?
25.
That's a great start. That's a really good template for him, I think.
All right, let me send this to him and to Brian. Billy, I just sent you a draft.
You got my note about
I put it in.
Captain Jack.
Yeah, for what? What'd you call it? The spring equinox? Yeah, and I put Rupee Rag in.
By the time soundcheck rolls around, we have a draft of a set list. And then Billy takes a look at it, and he'll mark it up, and we all sort of put our 2 cents in here or there. Oh, this worked great last time. Let's move this around.
How about Summer Highlands Falls? Or Vienna? Why don't we do that? Dan, let's kill the baby grand. There are times when we'll play a song that we played a few months before, and the response is totally different, which is why we don't write the set in stone. It's going to change all the time.
No, I want to do something. Yeah, either one or the other. What, just the time? No, I think we should put it in somewhere, though. We didn't do that a lot here, did we? Did we do it here?
We did it at Shed, but not since then.
If it were up to him, he'd like to call all of these things out on the fly. So we have to constantly sort of urge him to go, dude, you got to give us a little bit of structure because there's a lot of moving parts. Guitars have to change, settings on keyboards have to change, lighting cues have to be set up. So there's things that we need at least a little bit of pre-planning.
Phil, so can we just check the beginning with the helicopter and make sure that you can hear the shakers?
After 9/11, a lot of what the dynamics of certain songs were changed, especially in New York. A lot of the vets became first responders, and we brought them up because they were heroes, and they deserved to be appreciated by the audience. So when we do it at Madison Square Garden, it has taken on a whole other life.
Billy wants to keep it fresh every day, you know, different types of special guests or special arrangements of things. And by him keeping it fresh, keeps it fresh for us as well.
I saw some of the guys from Madison Square Garden backstage, and I said, I don't know much about anything, but for sure, you guys have to have Billy Joel in Madison Square Garden every month for the rest of his life and then some.
Every time we come back, it's like a homecoming. People ask, so how do you get psyched up for the show? Why do I need to get psyched up? You step on that stage and the crowd goes, ah! And then you get psyched up.
One of the favorite parts of the show is when we first start, when you first get Billy on stage and you first hear the crowd, the house lights go down, and the crowd starts screaming, and you get these hairs on your arm that raise up because we made it with doing another show, and people are excited to see him.
They're happy to be there. We're happy to be there. It's like an exchange of energy. And like I said, it's a homecoming. Every time we play there, wow.
sing with your five-palm Avenue clothes. Had the Dom Perignon in your hand and a spoon up your nose.
When you're talking about Madison Square Garden and Billy Joel and the audiences in New York, there is a kind of singular communication that happens with those three elements. And I think you get a perfect storm when you're here. You get really appreciative audiences, you get Billy in top form, and you got a building that sounds good, looks good. So all of that together makes the experience 1 + 1 + 1 = 10, you know?
In my opinion, the audience is about 50% of how good the show is. It's not just all who's playing, it's who's responding. The difference in the noise that they make at Madison Square Garden is that it's louder. It's just loud, it's palpable, and it kind of hits you in the chest.
There's a kinetic energy that happens at Madison Square Garden that doesn't happen anywhere else.
The audience sets up a motion that actually starts to make the stage go up and down.
We actually feel the whole building going up and down like this in time with the song, and we can feel the stage moving, and it's pretty remarkable.
At a certain point, we look at each other like, yeah, it's happening again.
It's like a little locomotive, man, because you can feel it, you know, when we get on the run, when we get towards the end and running.
It's just like, oh yeah, it's not an earthquake, it's not California, it's okay. We're in New York.
The audience actually rocks the house. They want you to know, we're happy that you're here.
It's like we all come from here, so we love being here. The audience comes from here, you know, so they relate to us, we relate to them. It's fantastic.
It's New York, you know, it's Billy's house. He walks on stage and we start doing our show, and the audience response is just incredible.
You come here to see the greatest events, to hear the greatest music, and I happen to be part of the greatest band, and I'm very proud of that, if you can't tell.
Welcome to the Garden. This is show number 4 for us.
I have to say that with each night we've played here, the shows have been getting better and better and better.
Thank you for coming to my 65th birthday.
One of the things that you notice with Billy in all of his performances, but especially in this room, is because he's so comfortable here, he invites the audience almost on stage with him. You know, it's 18,000 people that feels sort of intimate, which is hard to say when you're in Madison Square Garden, but it really feels intimate.
I have a bunch of favorite Billy Joel songs, but I think overall, it's Italian Restaurant. It's got everything you want, emotion. It comes up, it goes down. It's got lyrics that speak to generations.
It's the consummate New York song. Everybody connects with that. Everybody is either a Brenda and Eddie or knows a Brenda and Eddie. We just see a sea of hands, everybody waving and everything.
And it's like all of a sudden everybody in this room is like, we're together in this. There's such a sense of camaraderie, and everybody in the room, whether they know each other or not, at that moment, they know each other.
That's when I feel that we're connecting with the audience, and then they feel like family at that point.
It's really becoming a signature piece of Billy's, and the response has just been overwhelming, particularly at Madison Square Garden.
Music has a very profound emotive impact on people. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes I think it's a form of sorcery or alchemy or wizardry, you know, it transcends words, and it brings a rush of emotions up.
To me, the highlight of the show is when everybody's standing up and rocking and having fun, and it's all different age groups.
People bring their 10-year-old kids from there to their grandparents that are in their 70s. The audience base is so huge that you go, okay, well, that's why the shows are sold out all the time, because it's like the age limit is, there is none.
After so many years of these songs being played, they've become standards. They're like American standards, and everybody's singing the songs.
The audience singing along here at Madison Square Garden, it's really incredible. We get chills up there sometimes, really.